everyone, and welcome to this new episode of ESC, a volunteering experience.
I'm Bea, volunteering from Spain in Athens.
And I'm Simon, and today we're gonna meet Alexandra, who's volunteering in Krakow, Poland.
Hello, Alexandra. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself in a few words, your name, your age.
I am Alexandra. I am 26 years old and I'm coming from Greece,
Which part of Greece?
Athens.
Okay, perfect. And about your volunteering, what is your volunteering about? Where are you? What is the length of the volunteering?
Basically, my volunteering is based in Krakow, in Poland. I started last February and I finished a few days ago. Yeah, it's in general for the participation in youth in activities. Basically, we're organizing events, workshops that they could participate in, and they were with different topics. And at the same time, we're doing some Erasmus plus programs, like trainings of 7 days. So it was in 2 parts, let's say. But mostly we were organizing stuff in youth centers.
Okay, and which kind of topics do you introduce to the youth?
It really depends. For example, I did a workshop for gender-based violence. It was always depending what we wanted to do. Sometimes it was more creative, like it had painting or artwork, even shooting, for example, and other they were for more serious topic. We're also doing really often like board game nights and stuff like that.
Nice, it sounds good. What's the main thing you are learning or you learned because you already finished?
The main thing, I think, to be patient, because basically we had a lot of kids in the youth center, so it needed a lot of effort so to make them to involve them in something, because usually they were coming to spend their time to play to the PlayStation, so it was kind of tricky, like to give them something that would be nice for them. So if something was involving food, it was always more appealing. It was extremely difficult for them, let's say, to participate. So yeah, I think in general, be patient. It was the thing that, and of course, it was enjoyable, like meeting a lot of people during all those months, because I had all the time people from different nationalities, and also in Krakow in general is a multicultural city. So in general, our events, if they were coming Erasmus students, it was from everywhere in the world, and it was the most enjoyable part, let's say.
Nice. I understand about the patients because we actually work with teenagers also. You have to make an effort to make them focus and everything like this.
Exactly. Also, when you haven't a language barrier, it's even more difficult.
So I was going to ask you about that also. How was with the language? Did you manage okay? It was difficult for you?
In general, in Krakow is not a problem because, as I said, it's a multicultural city, so everywhere you can use English, like you can survive. The difficulty is, for example, in the youth center, the young kids, some of them, they can communicate perfectly in English, but some of them not. And at the same time, because of the language barrier, they will not listen to you or hear what you want to say or what you want to share. So yeah, sometimes you are ending up not having people or not do something so successful.
Okay, now it's time for the story time. If you have some story that you can tell, an anecdote or something like this with the kids or with whatever, something curious that happened to you in this volunteering.
I have a lot of nice memories, to be honest, especially from a project in Portugal that I was. Also, what I remember mostly, it's another project in Germany, because it was my first time that I was a leader and completely responsible for some people. In my team, it was 6 Polish people. And at the same time, I had to organize some activities. So it was quite challenging, but I think most enjoying at the same time, because it was the first time that I was doing everything on my own without having someone from association or something. it worked well, so I have a nice memory from it.
Good. And something funny that happened to you, maybe with the language or with some of the kids or something like this?
Fun, it's always when you are trying, you have a Polish person and you're trying to communicate, and you're saying like "nie mówię po polsku," which means I don't understand Polish, and they think you are deaf or something, and they're just saying the same thing louder. So they were like talking in Polish louder, and they think yes that we can communicate on that, but it's just that I don't understand.
For me, it happened actually the same with Greek, that I was saying "δεν καταλαβαίνω," and they were trying to repeat the same thing, and I was like, no, όχι, όχι, δεν μιλάω ελληνικά.
Actually, your accent is pretty good. Also, yes, with kids, we had many funny stories, like sometimes destroying and stuff in the youth centers or discovering things that they shouldn't be there, for example. I don't know if it's appropriate, like to put it in, for example, I found a pregnancy test in the bin, and it was some boys that they entered the toilet, and after they came out, and I found a box of a pregnancy test, and I was like, or they have a big problem right now, or they don't know how to use it, or they don't know who is the responsible person to use it.
Oh my God.
I was extremely confused after that, yes.
And what happened at the end with that thing?
Nothing. We discuss it. I thought at some point that probably we have to do something with sex education, but in general in Poland it's kind of difficult. It's illegal, actually. Yes.
It's illegal.
Yeah, also we have the abortion law here, so many things are not allowed. Like if you want to do something like that, especially in school, it's kind of difficult or even impossible, yes. So one of the things that I was appreciating in Greece, that at least in those things we are more chill.
Okay. What are your objectives after the volunteering? What are you going to do after you come back and everything?
Actually, I'm not coming back. Basically, now my base is Krakow. I will continue living in Krakow. I found a job here.
Nice, perfect. And what is the job about?
Analyst, basically, on my studies.
Ah, perfect. Congratulations for your new job.
Thank you.
Okay, and now, yes, at the end, what advices would you give to someone that wants to do a volunteering, that is thinking about doing a volunteering?
I think they have to consider when they are gonna do it. And I think this change from every person, because for me, for example, with the first generation here of volunteers, I was the older one. So for me, it was completely different, let's say, how I was approaching it. And the others, they were like 2019. But despite that, I think for everyone is, how to say it, you have to choose it in a specific time that you think you need it, like to try a different country, to be involved in something that for sure you will develop all your soft skills. And at the same time, yeah, I think it's like a gap here, but at the same time you are gaining so much experience and so many skills that it's really productive to do something like that with them, how to say, the most enjoyable way. And yeah, maybe to choose a country that or they always wanted to go, or they always had an interest of that. I think you are more motivated if you already have a country in your mind, or in a language that you want to develop. For example, if you always wanted to learn French, it's a good opportunity like to go in France, because especially as I know, at least French people doesn't use so much English, so you're forced to learn a language, so it's even easier.
Okay, Alexandra, so this is all. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Thank you everyone for listening to this podcast, and let's meet soon for another volunteering experience.